Professor Lanre Awashika, who's still talking about International Women's Day. She is an educationist, so that's the angle we're going to be looking at the celebration of International Women's Day. Now, education, we know, is one of the ways women can be empowered, but how much of an education does a girl child need in order to realize her potentials?
I think just about as much as a boy child needs. But the unfortunate part of it is we don't give the girls credit for the capacity to do as well as the boys would do. The girls' education is in 2 grades at home. When mothers stand up for their girl children, when mothers are mentors or examples of what their girl child should be, then the education is put in place. I still remember some of the things that my mother taught me, and those were some of the things that guided me through life. And even when she was advised to not educate me because I'm a girl and I'm going to get married and she's going to lose all that money, she still went ahead, gave me an education. I was supposed to be taught how to sew. Well, I got an education and still learned how to sew. And needless to say, that education was not wasted. So we have to look at the girls from the perspective of the home, and then we have to look at the girls from the perspective of the schools. Mm-hmm. When teachers stand up for the girl child, then we have a hope.
Well, what I've heard most of the time today is mentoring women. But you find that education is more accessible to people who live in cities and in towns, but people who live in the rural areas do not have that much of an opportunity to be educated.
Well, that is one thing that we have to correct. Because if I remember back...
Sorry, so how can we mentor children or mentor women in the rural communities?
And it's by being a part of what's happening in the rural areas. We have associations that just focus on the cities. We have to shift our focus to the rural areas. When we post officials and teachers to those communities, we have to charge them with mentoring the women in those areas. It's not just going there and just teaching. It's showing them how to live. It's showing them that there is hope. It's showing them that you can become whatever it is that your heart desires, even though you're a girl and even though you live in the rural areas. Technology has made a lot of things possible now. I have young women that I communicate with over the phone. Mm. They don't live in the city. And we're still able to maintain a mentorship in that way. So we have to make the effort to go to the rural areas.
And how can women take advantage of gender equality?
We cannot be bashful. We have to step up to the plate. I see women as the cane. We are very strong, but at the same time very resilient and flexible. And so if we can tap into the women's strength, we would hit a gold mine. And so we have to show the world that yes, we can do what the guys can also do.